So in this video, I wanted to talk about basically our responses to the operation and what that means and for us and that sort of thing. Like what that means for us and maybe even what the stalkers are trying to accomplish. So as you guys already know, I attribute this whole entire operation to some sort of spiritual wickedness. And so the only way we're going to know how we should respond to the situation is if we read biblical texts. And there's not a whole lot of information in the Bible that directly talks about this situation, which probably means that this could be sort of like some sort of end of days scenario in which, you know, nothing like this has actually happened throughout human history. So I wanted to go over that and go over our responses to the operation so that people can kind of have a better understanding of where we're at mentally and spiritually and how we see all this, or at least how I see it. I can go over how I see it. So basically, okay, so for people who've read the Bible or the Old Testament and New Testament, so in the Old Testament, we would have basically good cities and then we'd have bad cities. And depending on, like, I don't know, what relationship the community or that city had with their creator would depend on whether, if you were a believer, you went into that city, whether you would run into some problems or not. So basically in those type of situations, the people who would go into bad cities would have the option of leaving, and depending on how bad the city is, certain things may or may not happen. Like, most people know of the city of Sodom and the city of Gomorrah. Like, if the city had completely fallen, where everybody was in the city was wicked or evil, then, an angel of God would come down and just, he would save whatever righteous people are left and destroy the city. So that was Old Testament. That was before Jesus died for humanity's sins. So basically, in the New Testament, God doesn't do that. Like, God isn't going to do that. And because I think that it wasn't really necessary for them to do that after Jesus' sacrifice. And basically, like, there's going to be, like, and especially in a situation like this, there is no safe city for us to go to. So I think that, like, this stuff from the Old Testament doesn't really apply to this situation because there's no safe city for us to go to. There's no safe city. So, like, if you talk about gang stalking and you're thinking to yourself, well, wouldn't it just make a lot of sense for us to leave? Well, you're assuming that would work. And this is not Old Testament. So in the Old Testament, there were cities that were loyal to the God, and then there was, like, cities that have fallen. And the cities that fell, I mean, they would just fall, and, the righteous people, whether it was one or two, I think that if there was more than one, they would probably just not even destroy the city. I don't know how that worked, but so basically in that situation, like, the righteous would be escorted out of the city, and then the city would be destroyed or cursed or something. So wicked cities were dealt with by God in the Old Testament so that the evil would come to an end, and people can, I don't know, build a new city or something, or just leave the city alone. I don't know. So, but in the New Testament, we don't really get any relief until the rapture, and the entire world will start worshiping the devil and turn against God or disbelieve in God or whatever, and the entire world will do that. And once that happens, it'll be like one major wipeout, and then you get a restart or something along those lines, like Jesus rules for 1,000 years, and that Satan is bound for 1,000 years, and all that good stuff. So basically, according to biblical teacher, there's a gang stalker right there. A gang stalker. So I'm not going to curse because, like, one of you guys mentioned I'm not supposed to do that, which is true. I mean, I wanted to touch on that a little bit too. I think that I just got used to just being a regular person and trying to fit in a little bit, like, just being, regular and not really sticking out a whole lot. And there was no like ill will in it or anything. It's just, I don't know. But the truth is, though, I never really cursed really a lot until I came out here. And I think that what happened really was that these stalkers were so evil that I picked up bad habits because I was dealing with them all the time because they're just so evil. Like, and that's kind of brings me back to the other point I'm making. Like, the stalkers seem like they just try to undermine us or undermine our connection with God and try to make us ugly like they are. And I think like that, that could explain why we pick up bad habits when dealing with them. They always bring the worst out. Like, they always bring out the worst in you. Like, you're not the type of person that would do something like that. And then because of the wickedness of the community, you start doing things that are outside your nature. And I kind of feel like you pick up bad habits. It's just like when it's like when you're constantly when you live around drunk people, you start drinking. Like, it's a really hard. You're around bad people and you pick up bad habits because you're around bad people is what I'm saying. So definitely something that I want to be conscious of. When you lie with dogs, you get fleas, and that's just how it is. When you lie with dogs, you get fleas. When you're around monsters, you get angry and you pick up bad habits. I don't know. It's like the bad of the people affects us. And I think that that's something that we have to be cautious of. And I think that it's like a slow progression of, if you slowly starting to lose yourself because you deal with really, really, really horrible people. And so going back to what I was saying, so basically, yeah, that's kind of like, that's a situation that we should be aware of. And as far as just like whether God has to be nice to these people, God is not going to be nice to these people because they're evil. And that's it. Like, they get wiped out. From my understanding of the Bible, these people are going to get wiped out. He's not going to be holding their hand forever. I think he's long-suffering. According to the Bible, he's long-suffering. I mean, because he just he has a deep desire for these people to not be monsters. But if they choose to be that, then they choose to be that. And I think that's kind of just, so I want to bring this point up because we don't have to be these people's friends. Like, I am not the friend of the people here. And I doubt that the angels are these people's friends or God or anyone else. It's not about being their friends. It's not about being their friends or making them feel good or whatever they want. Like, the Bible is not about that. The angels of God are not about that. They're not about that. The angels of God, they're here for us, and they're here to help, God's will. And that's all they're here for. And God even claims that he can send evil ones after people. Like, he can do whatever he wants. He has dominion over the angels. The angels are simply his servants. And a lot of times they curse people and they destroyed cities and did whatever was necessary. They're not here to tell some ugly, horrible gang stalker that he's a good guy and people should like him. They're not here for that. And there's a misconception about that. And that goes for all people of God. We're here for God and to do what was right and live according to his will. And we're not here to for these monsters to feel good or to like these monsters or to hold their hand or to tell them that them worshiping Satan is perfectly fine or whatever horrible things they do and make them feel good or anything like that. My interpretation of the Bible is that basically we're here to do what we're supposed to do, what we were created to do. And of course, we should, be good to people who are bad to us. And that's why, so for me personally, I don't attack these people. I'm not ugly towards them and I don't hate them. I simply just don't like them and I keep away from them. They're bad people in my mind, they are, but I don't curse them for it. But the point is that we know what we're supposed to do and what's expected of us. And as far as just us being some sort of whatever they try to say, first, their salvation is their responsibility. It's not your responsibility. So, you don't live for them. You don't live for them. Whatever failings you have, that's between yourself and God. And these people have nothing to do with that. So just because God chose you or you're on his team doesn't mean that these people can use you as an excuse for their bad behavior, is what I'm saying. Their behavior is on them, regardless. Like, it doesn't matter what happens. Like, their behavior is on them. These people don't know what your relationship with God is, first off. Second, you don't have to be what people tell you you're supposed to be. Like, and as far as just like as you know, as people who are believers, I mean, certain things we accept that, you know, we should be on top of, and that's fine. And I'm like that too, and I'd be the first to say that, yeah, I could do this better, or I should do this better. Outside of that, though, as far as just how we deal with these people, one of the things I want to talk about is just, and really get into, is the fact that I don't really think that we should have any consideration towards these people's feelings about what we do or don't do at all. And that's where I'm going with this, okay? This world, I am not the friend of this world, and I am not the friend of these people. And nor do I want to be their friend. I don't want to have anything to do with them. I don't care much for who they are as people, and I don't want to be around them. I don't want to connect with them. I don't want to be liked by them. I don't care. Nothing about these people is appealing to me. I think that that is kind of the right attitude to have. So as a person who is spiritual or whatever, I want to have nothing to do with the community that I live in. And I'm not trying to get them to like me. As a matter of fact, I've been a lot happier ever since they stopped liking me, to be honest, okay? Okay, because, like, I know the type of people they are, and I don't want to have anything to do with them, and I'm not judging them. I don't want to have anything to do with the people that I live around. Nothing. And that's it. And I kind of feel like that's the right attitude. So their approval of me, I actually dislike their approval, and I'm glad they disapprove of me, and I'm going to be honest about that. I'm glad they disapprove. I really am. You know, that makes my day. And as far as you guys go, the only people who matter are other people of faith and in God and angels and Christ, and that's it. That's it. Like, these people, they're not our friends, and they're probably not God's friends. Of course, we can't judge them. You guys know that, but yeah. You know, they're, you know, just let's just keep away from these people. Let's just keep away from them. That's why my thing is just to keep away from these people. Look at this. We got another guy. Ever since, you know, the gang stalkers. So all of a sudden, this road has become busy with people walking because I'm walking. That's how they do it. Yeah, it's too bad it doesn't work. They're not very bright, in my opinion. Not very smart people. They do a lot of stuff. It doesn't work. I don't know, though. You know, I used to wonder about that. I used to wonder if these people were so evil or Satan worked through them. Why are they so incompetent and stupid? I hadn't really figured that out. It really seems like they're just so incompetent. It's amazing. Like, I don't know. Maybe they're just stupid people. I don't know. Anyhow, well, I don't. But, you know, like I said, so I think the point I'm making is that let's not really worry about what people are thinking, and let's just support each other and, you know, that kind of stuff. Like, you know, because it doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter as much as they'd like for us to believe, because they're the ones who have to peddle the propaganda and explain everything away. They're the ones who have to, you know, say that God doesn't exist so they can do whatever they want because they're afraid of what we represent. And the government is afraid of losing power. So they're the ones who have the uphill battle to fight. They have to make us look bad so that government holds power. They can do whatever they want and God is out of the equation. And the only way to do that is to make us look bad so that people question whether God exists. Because God is their greatest threat. And that goes for the government and these boobs out here, okay, guys? Their greatest threat. Like, if he exists, then they're screwed and they know it. So the point is that if we represent him, everybody feels threatened, especially the government, of what that could represent, of them losing power. And a lot of this probably has to do with that. And, you know, then you get some antichrist figure into the mix, and, you know, he encourages, you know, us to look bad, just like how that show, they have like a show about Jesus Christ, like they send a prostitute in to get Jesus to sleep with the prostitute. You know, they do stuff like that. Like, I thought that was a good series. They used to have a series on Netflix that covered Jesus Christ. Anyhow, let me close with that.